following broadcast is a production of HCC TV.
Hi, I'm Justin Boyd.
Hi, I'm George Luna.
I'm Brittany Pacheco.
And I'm Frank Cooper.
And we are
The Watchers in the Basement.
Welcome to The Watchers in the Basement. We are coming to you from the Main Street Studios here at HCC TV. And every Monday we're here to review the latest episode of Game of Thrones. Before we get to last night's episode, we want to hear from you. Please follow us on social media. We're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook. You can obviously watch the show on YouTube. We have our YouTube channel. Please subscribe and follow us there. Also, we're on SoundCloud. If you're an audio listener, please listen to us on SoundCloud. And if you want to get to us, the best way to hit us up is use the hashtag WatchersBasement to talk about us. And also, I don't know if you noticed, but we've got some shirts here.
Got some swag.
Gear. As my 9-year-old nephew would say, we got merch. We got some merch. And if you follow us on social media, you might get your hands on one of these shirts. So please follow us. Next couple weeks, you might have one of these Watchers in the Basement baseball T-shirts.
Very nice.
So please do that. And actually, we were wearing them yesterday, weren't we? We went to Comic Palooza here in Houston.
First time going to Comic Palooza.
Yeah.
For you and myself. I think Frank's been there before, right?
No, not Palooza.
Oh, so it was the first time for everyone.
First time, yeah.
That's cool.
My cherry got popped.
So
Was it great?
it was awesome.
It was legit.
Legit.
Beautiful.
I heard you got to meet a certain special someone.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Sunday.
Oh,
Head still attached, so I was very pleased by that.
thankfully.
Thankfully.
If it was, I still would be in love with her.
Yeah.
Oh, my
Yeah,
gosh.
it was very.
Yeah, we get to meet the Mother Dragons and Missandei yesterday I say meet. We got to take a 15-second photo with them. It was very quick.
Yes.
But it was exciting.
It was cool. It definitely sensory overload in terms of just going to Comic Palooza, but definitely a great experience. I would go again. I would go again.
It
Definitely.
was definitely better than the episode. So let's get to that. Episode 5, season 8.
Nice
It's called
segue.
The Bells.
The bells.
The Bells. So let's get going.
perfect title.
It started off in Dragonstone. Brittany, you want to take it away?
So in Dragonstone, we learned that Daenerys is not seeing anyone post Missandei's death, and I would think rightfully so. She's in mourning. This is her best friend, one of her most trusted advisors, and Dany's down quite a bit with advisors. You know, Jorah's gone. Tyrion's still with her. Varys still with her for now.
Tell me.
Varys and Selmy, thank you. Yes, he's also gone, and she's losing dragons, she's losing advisors, and so she's grieving, she's mourning, and she's not doing well. Varys is writing letters, and we see a script of Jon is the true heir to the Iron Throne and what have you. Who do y'all think he's sending these letters to? Just
Everybody.
I think the remaining lords that are left.
So he sent some of them out, right?
Yeah,
Because
he
at the
sent-
end he was burning something.
Well,
and-
Yeah.
There seems to be more Dothraki every week.
Yeah.
So I'm
That's
sure
true.
some of them are probably readers. So probably some of them.
They
It went from
they're reading
extinct
comment
to
on now?
one
Right, they
to
just
like
keep-
a whole army.
I think
at the
next week
end.
it's all Dothraki.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Well, they're like Hydra. You cut off one head
Right.
to grow. So like they're like
Yeah.
the literally Hydra agents.
That's true.
Yeah.
But Varys is
They did
still
pop out of nowhere though. Like they did.
But Varys is still very much the master of secrets. He has his little spies. This little girl walks in. I think her name is
Little
Martha.
birds.
Those little
Little
birds.
birds,
yeah.
Her name is Martha. She's informing him of Daenerys' well-being, and she makes it a point that her soldiers, the Unsullied, are watching. And Varys says, of course, it's their job. And he's like, what have I always told you? The greater the risk, the greater the reward, which is something that Varys has always lived by.
But those one small oversight. He does ask the girl, has there been a word? I think that was indication that he did send letters out, but nobody responded.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
interesting.
And she
Okay.
says no.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
I didn't catch that. Good call by you. But Varys isn't done here. He eventually is going to meet with Jon Snow, who comes ashore, which I thought that was crazy because when he left Winterfell on the King's Road, I interpreted that he was on his way to King's Landing. But
That's what I thought.
I guess he went to, what is it called? The harbor?
White Harbor.
White Harbor, and took the ship to Dragonstone because he's now on Dragonstone.
Well, because he probably found out what happened to Dany and the dragons, and he's like,
Oh,
"Oh,
that
let me
makes
go
sense.
check on her." And
That makes
that's
sense.
the only
Like, he
reason.
regrouped
But
at
he was going.
Dragons.
He was going to King's Landing.
That was-
He
that
was-
Right,
He was on his
right.
way there.
Because he and Davos left together. Well,
Yeah.
Davos isn't with Jon at this point, so that makes
That's
sense.
the only reason he went then.
Right. But Jon arrives on the shores of Dragonstone, and Tyrion's watching as this exchange between Varys and Jon take place. Frank, what, you want to talk a little bit more on that?
Between Jon and Varys.
Yeah.
It goes with the storyline, the theme of Jon's character arc. It's like, I'm loyal to you, Dany. I bend the knee. I pledge to you. No matter what happens, I'm gonna follow you blindly. And Varys is basically saying like, no, this is wrong. Like, you have to wake up. She's not good for the realm. My whole purpose of being an advisor and being the master whisperers, everything I do for the sake of the realm, the best for the realm. And Dany's not what's best for the realm, and she's now starting to show that. And that might have been foreshadowing for Jon for what happens later on in the episode, where he's in the middle of battle and seeing what's going on post Cersei's people basically giving up.
Yeah.
And it was great foreshadowing.
Because of the bells.
Yeah.
Justin, what do you think about this whole quote of every time a Targaryen is born, the gods flip a coin? How do you interpret that?
I think it's filler. I think
Just
like a lot
filler.
of the show. I really do. I think it means nothing. If you watch the rest of the episode, what does it matter? Like, it really doesn't matter. It doesn't. Like, they're trying to get cute with stuff. It's like, you know what? Like, just have a better story or stick to a better story. Don't like try to add these little things that ultimately 45 minutes later mean nothing.
Yeah.
Thank you, Justin.
Yeah, we can keep it
Thank you.
moving. Keep it moving, right?
Is Jon a fool for sticking behind Dany?
He's a huge fool, and he realized it
Yeah.
later.
Yeah.
He found out. He's like, "Wow, I'm an idiot."
Yeah, I agree. It's funny because you care so much about these characters in the earlier seasons, and then you see their character development just completely shift. Oh, you don't care?
No.
Anymore, not really.
Okay.
Not
I mean,
anymore.
like me and
That's
Frank
what I'm
talked about
saying,
this earlier. Like, when characters died in previous seasons, it had meaning.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now when they die, you're just like, good, hurry up. Like,
No, there was impact.
Yeah.
Like, for example, Ned. Ned had an 8-episode run. When we think about the greatness of Ned and like how he's still being talked about 8 years later.
Yeah.
He had an 8-episode run, but the fleshing out of his storyline, the presence that the writers gave him, it was impact when he died.
Yeah.
When Rob's wife and Catelyn Stark got killed, there was impact. There was a story behind their arc of who they were. And like you felt that, even with Joffrey, you felt that. Like you want him to die, but when he died, it was still shocking. It was pleasurable, but it was still shocking.
Still wasn't good enough.
That's
Was it good enough for you?
No.
that death, but
No.
that's a difference though. Now you see that when a character dies, it's not the same thing anymore.
There's no impact
Do you think that's
behind it.
based because of the books as well? Like just from everything that it was laid out, it was so detailed. They had a lot of stuff to work with. Now they just pass the books so far up, they don't know what to write, and they don't know how to end it.
Dave and Dan were.
They have the ending, but they don't know how to properly execute and finish off these characters' story arcs and everything.
Well, here's the thing. Dave and Dan, they were given a gift with a bow wrapped around it with these 5 books, right? And it was like, hey, here's a playbook. Just follow the playbook. You're good. You're golden. And now that it's surpassed the playbook, now they're in uncharted territory.
but see, they're getting a lot of heat.
Yeah.
And that George R. R. Martin deserves the blame because they took his story, which was people knew it obviously. They made him tremendous. HBO and the two David Benioff and
D&D.
D.
Yeah.
Weiss, they made him tremendously wealthy,
Oh, yeah.
famous beyond means. Like he's like they took his story and blew it up, and he stopped being a part of it really. Like that he deserves the blame. So he'll never finish the books, first of all. But if he ever does, it's too late, dude. Like
Yeah.
you should have been like the last book came out when the first
2011,
episode,
the first
which is
season
the
came
first
out.
episode of the season,
Yeah.
right? Like these guys are taking the heat because they're having to pick up the ball that he dropped. But I mean, that's why I can't totally blame them. Like they're doing. I mean, they did tremendous with it.
Yeah.
I mean, none of us. I didn't know about Game of Thrones till the TV show came out. I
Yeah.
don't think any of us on this panel did.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Probably 80% of the people who watch Game of Thrones didn't know about Game of Thrones until the TV series. So George R. R. Martin deserves the blame.
Is he even being
does.
consulted on the show for the show
Well,
anymore?
more. They have it,
so,
right?
so from the articles I read, like George R. Martin and HBO were against them ending in 8 seasons. They were against them ending it with 7 and 6 episodes.
Yeah, they
seasons.
wanted
Like,
10.
and he
Yeah,
should
they were-
provide more content to work with. It's his story.
That's
You know what I mean? Like it's his.
That's a
damn
He
fair
gave
thing.
him the ending, right?
That's a fair point.
Was this his ending that he saw?
I
like,
don't know.
I read recently on Twitter that George said something along the lines of what's about to happen isn't too far off from what he was doing, but maybe it's just how they get there is going to be different. I'm not sure.
He's waiting to see where they mess up, and then he can come in later. And be
That
like,
makes
well,
sense.
This
See where
is what,
everyone's
this is what I had in
complaining.
mind. It's like, well, yeah, 17 years later, you finally finished the story. Like, I mean, come on, dude. Like, it's on you.
But
It
here's
is.
something
Yes.
we don't know. We don't know how involved George was in the writing of season 7, season 8. But
I feel like it wasn't a lot, man.
But I do know this. They weren't running out of time. HBO gave D&D time
Yeah.
to write this out. HBO gave them basically an unlimited budget to say, hey, do what you want. Just make sure that it's a good product.
Wrong.
They decided to
They
shorten.
didn't do that.
Yeah,
they
they
ruined
decided
it.
to shorten the season. They decided to shorten it to 8 seasons. That was their call.
I think
And
it's
now
because
we're
they
paying
ran
for
out
it.
of stuff to write, man. Like, it's literally, they cannot think of, like, they can't do it themselves. They had this as, like, basically their go-to.
Yeah.
And
It's
after
a source
that,
material. It's a source material.
Yeah.
It's like anything else. Like
Yeah.
you have to have, you have to understand who the character is. Whether you're talking about Spider-Man, Superman, Batman, Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings. Like you have to use the source material. Otherwise, like it's like fan fiction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's garbage because all fan fiction is garbage. So, I mean, it is like.
Well, okay, you guys are kind of being hard on D&D and
Which
George
is-
R. R. Martin, which is fine, but let's talk about being hard on someone else back in this show. Tyrion. Tyrion made a lot of bad calls throughout this last couple seasons, right? And
Yet he still lives.
He still lives, exactly.
should've
I
died.
don't, and this goes back to what I was saying the last couple weeks with Dany. I don't get her logic. I don't think she's that smart of a leader.
She's ruthless.
There's logic that's lost upon her, and it doesn't make sense. So you murder the person that spread your secrets in Varys,
But you
you
don't
don't
murder-
murder the person that told Varys about the secret.
that made no sense.
Or John, like, cause John's a nucleus.
So she
John
gets to
chose
pick and
sisters.
choose, right?
Yeah. So you're picking and choosing who to punish. It does not make sense
I
to
think
me.
it's that coin flip thing we were talking about earlier.
Maybe so.
Yeah.
Flip a coin, yeah.
She's a female Two-Face. That's what she is.
Yeah.
But right, so Tyrion goes and tells Dany that someone betrayed her. She's assuming it's Jon because she begged him not to talk about the identity, and then it ultimately leads to Varys, like what you're talking about. Varys knows it's coming because as he's writing his note, he hears the Unsullied coming. He burns whatever letter he's writing, takes off his rings, and he's meeting Dany and everyone at the edge of what I assume the edge of Dragonstone. And there's a callback that Dany made in season 7. In the early episode that she told Varys, if you ever betray me, I'll burn you alive. And this is obviously what's happening. I have to talk about how cool it was that Drogon just kind of like appeared out of pitch black just to burn Varys like that. That was actually pretty cool. I thought it was really cool. And Varys says something, he hopes he deserves this fate.
Yeah.
He hopes he chose wrong, and I'm kind of thinking he was right.
He was spot on.
He was spot on. But now we're seeing this very concerned look out of Jon and Tyrion, and back in Dragonstone Castle, I don't even, what do you call it? They're reminiscing about Missandei, Dany, and Grey Worm. And I have to mention that Grey Worm never says a word in this episode. Did y'all catch that? He never said a word in this episode. He's
A
just
lot of weird looks.
weird looks. He's very angry, of course. And Frank, you said it off screen earlier that he's operating on rage.
Oh,
They
yeah.
both are.
Oh, yeah.
Completely, they both are. Danny's holding Missandei's choker that she wore when she was a slave. She hands it to Grey Worm and he just tosses it into the fire. It's kind of like, what's the point anymore? It's just pointless at this point. And enter Jon. He is having words with Dany. It's not going very well, right? George, you want to talk on that a little?
Yeah, that was. I mean, that part when he was talking to Dany and Jon says, basically they start like kissing and making out, and they and just Jon just pushes away because honestly I think he thinks it's weird now.
Still.
that was still like that's his aunt now, like,
Yeah.
and he just pushes away, and she's like, what did she say, Brittany? The
She basically was telling him, like, I told you so. This would happen if you told your secret. And I don't get the love that you get here.
Oh, yeah.
I'm only feared.
she's just being a big hater. Like, she's so mad. Like, she's so upset that John's getting all the love, she's not getting anything, and the people admire him more than they
Exactly.
do her. And she's like, so I want to rule with fear instead of like the love that they show John.
To which John says to her, I love you,
Yeah.
but you're my queen. And then is that all I am to you? And
I mean, what else does?
he doesn't say anything, and she says, all right, let it be fear then.
I need Dany to pick up a history book and read about her. No, I'm serious. Like, she needs to pick up a history book and read about her family.
Yeah.
Like Maegor the Cruel, Arya's her father, Aegon the Unworthy. Like all these tyrants, they all fell to the same fate. And for some reason she's not learning from history. And John's starting to see that the woman that I so-called love is everything she's doing is based on self-interest. And when John does things, it's for the great of the people.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's been the vital difference. And I think John is starting to realize, yeah, it's his aunt. Don't get me wrong. I'm not
Condoning
the incest
that.
is weird. I'm not condoning that at all. But I think what's equally bothering John as well is the woman that Dany's becoming.
Right.
The turn, the heel turn that we say in wrestling that she's slowly becoming that John just can't get down with.
Would
Yeah.
you say it's a slow burn? Her heel turn?
Oven roasted.
Not really slow, but
Yeah.
it picks up, yeah.
Justin, let's talk about the Dany, Grey Worm, and Tyrion in the throne room on Dragonstone. They're talking about the plan to take King's Landing. How did you feel about that scene?
What was your plan?
What was their plan?
I mean,
That's the plan.
okay.
That was
That's
mine.
like all their plans.
Yes.
Like, we have run army up against the other army, and then we all die, but then we don't all die because then we come in next up, we have more people somehow. And we have a dragon, which when we had 2, we didn't know how to use it, but when we have 1, we figure it out.
Yeah.
I mean, there is no plan. Like, the plan is, what is it, May 20th or May 19th is when we're done? That's the plan? Like, show over?
Yeah.
So bitter.
That's the plan.
So
It's
bitter.
like, why have advisors if you're gonna just check into your impulses anyway?
And
It's
not
like,
listen to him.
Yeah, not listen. Like, there was no point of having this quote unquote strategy. Which, again, for the 18th time, the battle strategies in this season have been horrible.
Like Justin said, there isn't any.
There isn't any.
No.
There isn't any. And we spend 5 minutes in this scene where it was a useless scene because she didn't adhere to what Tyrion was saying. Graham doesn't care. Dan doesn't care. It's just like, you know what? Let's just go ahead and just burn everybody.
Operating on rage.
Yeah.
The one thing of note, I guess, is Tyrion does mention, like, if you hear the bells playing in the city,
Please
that
stop.
That means they're surrendering.
Yeah.
Although no one says, cool, that's the plan. It just, he keeps saying that over and over. And so, that made me think that the bells meant something bad.
Well,
but
and he's trying to play on her emotions of, you always wanted to say you want to protect the innocent. There's innocent people in King's Landing.
Yeah.
Not everyone is.
Does she though?
Well, yes. Maybe Dany from Marine in Essos and all that stuff, but Dany here in here in Westeros, no, probably not.
But even in Marine and Astapor and all those places in Essos, she did it based on self-interest.
No, you're right.
It wasn't because she really cared about these people being enslaved and being in chains.
She wanted them to
did it-
be indebted to
Yeah,
her.
she wanted to be indebted to her, and these are all political plays. These are all power plays by Dany.
the fact they loved her was like a bonus.
It was a
Yeah.
bonus.
She
yeah.
didn't care. I mean,
Yeah.
it was a happy coincidence. It
Yeah.
really was.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Well, moving away from Dragonstone, let's go to King's Landing. King's Landing, they're obviously preparing for this last war that's supposed to take place. The common people are seeking shelter. And Frank, I know in your segment you're going to talk a little bit more about the common people.
Absolutely.
And
Poor people.
poor people, indeed. There's so many people. What is it that was said about 1 million people
About
live
1
in
million people
King's
in King's
Landing?
Landing.
That's a lot of people in that.
I mean, but half of them are Dothraki, though. They're everywhere.
Oh well, John and don't leave him hanging.
Sorry.
But John, Tyrion, and Davos meet. They've made camp, obviously, in King's Landing, and Davos is informed. Okay, we're gonna move on daybreak, and Tyrion wants Davos to smuggle someone or some people out of King's Landing. Two
We
guesses
don't really
who.
hear what the plan is.
We don't hear what the
Like,
plan is.
whenever
Again, it
there
cuts
is
off.
some kind of good plan, we don't get to hear it.
Yeah,
That's
it's
true.
cut
Whenever the
off.
plan
It's
is, we're just going to go fight, we get to hear that. We get to see extensive scenes of we're gonna line up and go fight and die, and
Yep.
But
that's
see,
the plan.
here's why I'm confused because Tyrion said, "Please, the dad was about smuggling somebody out." I'm assuming it was Jaime and Cersei.
Yeah.
Right.
Because in the
Yeah, that's
cave,
what it
the boulders were
Yeah.
the boulders
Yes.
that covered the hole.
Yeah.
But Davos is not there. Davos is with Jon.
No, he left the boat there.
Yeah, but he
left the boat
he left
there
the
for
dinghy
him.
there when
You remember?
Jamie was on the shore.
You didn't see that when
Yeah,
Euron
I saw
pulled
that,
up.
but
Euron pulled up. He was.
But I assume that was going to be there.
No, no, he left it. He just
okay, I
he
got
smuggled the boat onto
Okay.
Yeah.
King's Landing, and then they have to do all the work
Right.
themselves.
I got you.
Exactly.
Okay.
We'll get to-
I didn't see that either.
Yeah, I didn't see that
I mean,
either.
I knew the boat was there, but I didn't think about because I mean, I'd kind
Yeah,
of
no,
checked
it's
out.
like-
I'd checked out
No,
already.
I'm,
so,
I'm,
yeah.
I'm with
It's
you.
just like them. They have to go do it. He's not. Dawes not gonna do that for
Yeah,
him.
yeah,
Why would he? Why would he?
Exactly.
Yeah, like why would he?
Right.
Okay.
I love this companionship that we have of Arya and the Hound. They both have their missions to coming to King's Landing. They both said that they didn't think they were coming back to Winterfell. And Arya informs one of the Northern men, "Hey, I'm Arya Stark. I'm here to kill Queen Cersei. Let me through." And the Hound's obviously supporting her efforts and saying, "Hey, think about it. She kills the queen. We don't have to go to war, et cetera, et cetera."
And she sticks to her plans too. Arya is a character who does not. Like, if she says she's gonna do something, she will not back out at the last second.
Her list, she's
on
like
a roll,
she's like 12 for 12 on her
Yeah.
list. She's
Yeah.
killed everybody on her
Has
list.
she killed anybody on her list?
I'm going to get to that later towards
Miriam
the end.
Trent, maybe? Oh, Walter Frey? I don't know.
Okay.
She might be 2 for 12 at this point.
Yeah, we'll get to that a
She
little
could take
later.
the list, same thing like that. She could put the list with Varys, and like they could burn the list with his letters and stuff, just all at once.
Wow.
Just and the script. The
script
plans
too?
for- yeah,
The
just
script too.
all of it.
Well, Varys is good at writing letters, and someone else is not very good at speaking a different language. Tyrion. He's terrible at speaking Valyrian
Valyrian,
to the Unsullied.
Like, we speak English, pal.
It's like we
Yeah.
speak
Speak
the
the
common tongue.
common
Oh,
tongue.
good.
Yeah.
I'm done with this. But he wants to see Jaime because back in Dragonstone, he was informed by Dany that Jaime tried to break through their lines. And so he's, now, once again, a prisoner. And so Tyrion goes to see his brother and asks, I love this part. He goes, "How did you get caught?" And Jaime just simply raises his golden hand. It's just, he's like, "Have you considered taking it off?" Cersei said I was the stupidest Lannister. I kind of agree to some point.
They do make
Tyrion's
gloves.
up
They
there
have
now.
gloves in this time in the world, right? They had
Yeah.
gloves.
Yeah.
No, he's worn one before.
Yeah, he has worn one before.
But Tyrion's probably the stupidest Lannister right now, because honestly,
Maybe so, yeah.
Daenerys just told him, "If you betray me once more, I'm gonna kill you." What does he do the next scene?
He goes and talks to his brother.
He wants to die.
Yeah, yeah, but Tyrion is begging Jaime to help him for the cause, to protect the innocent. And there was something conflicting that Jaime said. I don't know if
Yeah,
you guys
that line
caught
was
it.
so dumb to me.
So the line is Jaime doesn't care about the people of King's Landing, innocent or otherwise, which is very
Okay.
contradictory to
Okay.
why he killed the Mad King.
That
Well,
made,
or
that
why
was,
did he leave to begin with? Why did he want to fight for the living? He lives
Exactly.
It's
Why didn't
so
he just stay with her?
contradictory.
Like,
It's
that
so
doesn't make any
contradictory.
sense.
Yes.
I think that was terrible writing there, because what was his point? Like, what was the point of him going down, fighting for the living, doing all these, trying to redeem himself for being a bad person, and then he just goes back and that's it.
Yeah.
What was the point of bringing Brienne into this and like?
Oh, don't even
introducing-
get me started on that. I'm
Yeah.
still upset about that.
No, no,
don't
no.
get me started.
You wanted to see them together.
I wish I had some.
That was all you. I still Team Tormund all the way. But that what was the point?
I wish I had some type of expert analysis on that. I have nothing on that part. I don't. Jamie's arc was really disappointing for me. It was it was his regression and his character arc is one of the worst arcs like they're about to see in TV history.
It happened in an episode.
In
Like,
one
In
episode.
one episode,
In one
exactly.
episode.
Everything
I
happened in that
fundamentally
episode.
do not understand his arc. Like,
crashed.
you do all these good
So
deeds.
upset.
You seem to turn the corner about caring for other people, and then you talk about in season 3 about how you sacrificed the Mad King to save 1 million people in King's Landing, only to
Just-
revert back
Right.
to the guy that you was before losing your hand.
Because he has an unhealthy addiction to his sister.
And like I watched this with
But
friends
he
last
left her
night.
though. He left.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he could. Why did he stay with her?
That was him.
If he didn't care about
Yeah.
innocent people.
Because
Yeah.
he knew
He could
that
just
she
stay there.
wasn't
No,
gonna.
you're right.
They
You're
weren't
right.
gonna go fight with them.
You're right. No, yeah,
Which-
you're completely right.
Pointless.
Pointless.
Great
yeah.
writing, guys. All right.
But Tyrion is still trying to convince Jaime to help his cause of saving everyone. Tyrion's thinking, oh, if I can make this happen, then Daenerys won't, go extreme. he's trying to play to Jaime's emotions. Hey, let's get Cersei out of King's Landing. You go and sail, to Pentos, start a new life. And by the way, ring the bells. Ring the bells. That's really important.
bells, yeah.
Ring the bells.
Yeah.
So there's also a really emotional goodbye between Jaime and Tyrion. Tyrion basically thanks Jaime. If it wasn't for you, you didn't treat me like a monster, first and foremost. You were all I ever had. And I think it's Tyrion that actually kind of starts crying when they hug. Was it Tyrion?
Yeah, Tyrion started
Okay, yeah,
crying,
he was
yeah.
very emotional about it. So it's like, well, this is the last time y'all are ever going to see each other. So have fun.
Yep.
What does it leave Bronn? We talked this off screen too. Like
Yeah, what happened with
episode
Bronn?
before Bronn's like, make sure you both you guys live because you guys own me. Well, Jaime's dead. Tyrion.
Well, Bronn
Spoiler.
We won't see him again.
Nah, I don't think so. There's no reason.
No.
Probably not.
that's
No,
no
but he
story.
might still come after Tyrion because Tyrion promised him High
I hope
Garden.
Tyrion dies anyways,
Oh,
like
wow.
some other way.
I mean, what was the point of him?
Doesn't
Also,
matter.
Bronn shouldn't have been in the show at all. He had no point this season.
Not this season.
Probably.
Not
He
this
should have been. Yeah, he should just went. He should just went become a Cersei off screen because there was no
Yeah.
his storyline. There's no closure.
Yeah.
For his storyline. I mean, if they find a way to make closure in this episode, it's gonna be shocking for me.
Well, who does have closure are the Iron Fleet.
Yep.
They're no more.
Yep.
They're absolutely gone.
They're an elite fighting force, and they are killed within like 20 or 30 seconds.
Something like
she
that
just
with the
mows him
dragon.
down with
Oh,
the
it's
dragon.
ridiculous.
Yeah, she comes in, point, straight down from the sky. Burns them all.
Spit the truth. Come on.
This was the
Spit it.
dumbest part, man. So you're telling me like she couldn't do that last episode? I was just so
She had
disappointed.
two
She had two
dragons, too.
dragons, and she can't look to her left, look to the bottom. Like, what do?
like
You
driving.
just look at, let me look at the dragon while I'm riding my. I'm not gonna look around everywhere else.
Or maybe these giant scorpion things they're focused one way.
Mm-hmm.
They don't just move on a swivel. Like, go behind them,
Exactly.
burn them. Like, I mean, 30-something ships are gone like that.
Mm-hmm.
The Golden Company gone like that. Harry Strickland, we hardly knew you. You had like one line the whole series. You were like in 3 episodes.
And he died like a punk.
How much did you get
He's-
paid, man? Like
He died like
I don't know.
I would want. That's the role I want to play, man.
The Golden
paid to do
Company
nothing?
implies he
The
needs
Golden-
some money, but I mean, he can't
So-
spend it. He's dead.
So there was this really big buildup of, oh my gosh, the Golden Company are this elite sellsword,
That was funny.
army, and we never saw them in action. Like, we never saw anything come out of them. Same with the Iron Fleet.
Yeah.
I mean, in the last episode, or whatever episode it was, when they used scorpions, three arrows
Yeah.
to kill Rhaegal, right? You're
Yeah,
telling
but
me
they had amazing aim.
Hold on.
I don't know
So-
where it was this episode.
So from that episode to this episode, they went all stormtrooper and all of a sudden can't shoot.
Yeah.
They missed their target
Well,
every single time.
They only fired like what, 2 in the whole
I have
episode?
no
I
idea.
think.
Yeah.
I mean, she destroyed them so fast. I don't
That's
think they
true.
even knew. I'm not even sure all of them were even manned.
But
Like,
even
they were,
then,
like,
they totally
like,
missed their
lunch or
target.
something,
They
yeah.
got their target, maybe because it wasn't Euron who was shooting these arrows.
He could have easily threw that dude off, hopped on, but like,
That's true.
Yo, let me shoot. Like you're doing
Well,
terrible.
If Euron wasn't busy jumping off the ship in general, then
'cause
maybe
his-
so.
Yeah, he almost
His
got
ship
blew
was
up.
blown up.
Yeah, his ship was being blown up.
He should die.
But the Golden Company, they're at the front gate to meet the Unsullied and Dothraki and whoever else. And sneak attack. Dany and Drogon come up from behind the Golden Company and blow everything up. And R.I.P. Harry Strickland, like you said, we hardly knew you. Kind of pointless.
And she's just burning. Like,
She's just burning
all-
everything.
It's almost like I was watching. It's like she was like mowing the yard. You know, like the centers where the Red Keep was. That's where she should have gone first. But
Yep.
she's like, no, I'm going to go all around like perfect. Like
Make
a
a
maze.
pattern, make a maze.
that's the best way. If you're going to mow a lawn, you need to watch episode 5, The Bells, and see how Dany does that with fire. I wouldn't burn your lawn though. Don't do that. I mean, if you live out in the country, do whatever you want. If you live in the city limits, don't do that.
Don't do
So,
that.
yeah.
There's laws against
Yeah.
that. But we see Cersei in the Red Keep in King's Landing, and she's watching everything unfold from the keep, and she's refusing to leave. Qyburn's telling her the Iron Fleet is burning, the Scorpions are all gone, the Golden Company has fallen, basically, and she's just, the Lannister army is going to fight for their queen until every last man. No, they're not, because when they encounter the Northern men with Jon, Davos, and whomever, they throw down their swords, just like that.
Right.
Just
They
like
all
that.
gave up.
They all gave up. So loyalty is not really a thing for the Lannister army at this point.
No.
But the last war has finally begun. There's some slow moments focusing on just Jon as he's seeing like all this carnage, go around him. And I'm thinking, he should be thinking, man, if I had just accepted my identity and taken claim to the Iron Throne, none of this would be happening.
Right.
Anyone else think something similar? No?
Dany still would have fought.
Okay.
I think Dany, because
Oh yeah, she wouldn't take that like that.
Dany has this privilege. She has this birthright mentality.
That's
Like
true.
this is mine. I don't care. I don't care. You're my brother's kid. You're the rightful heir. This is mine because I made it mine. The war might have started with Jon. Had Jon disagree with her line of thinking. She's in like this whole. She's not a queen. She's a conqueror.
Yep.
This is what she is. She's a tyrant. Like she's masquerading as a queen, but as the series goes on, she shows to be a tyrant.
And you said Tyron, that calls back to her meeting with Tyrion in Dragonstone about Cersei is a tyrant. She's accusing Cersei of being exactly who Dany is becoming, and says that Cersei doesn't understand mercy. She says she sees mercy as a weakness, but Dany sees mercy as a strength.
You know what that was? This is two presidential candidates going at it in a debate, and you're just saying things that sound good,
Yeah.
just so you can win the seats. That's what that was.
I'm with that.
She meant nothing. She meant none of that.
Yeah.
For the last 7 years, we know now for a fact this was all just a ploy to get to the Iron Throne. And now that the people are rejecting her, now that she sees that she's not beloved and loved in this foreign country that she was not born in, now she's like, you know what? Well, screw all y'all. I'm just gonna burn everybody and just start over. She went Thanos. I'm gonna
Yeah.
destroy this whole world and build it the way I wanted to see fit.
And she in previous season, when she first met Jon Snow in Dragonstone, she said, please don't judge me on the sins of my father. I am not my father. I am my father's child, but I am not him, basically. Well, you're kind of failing at
Well, I
that,
know.
like stupendously. But there's so much going on. Grey Worm is in a rage. He's just kicking butt everywhere he turns. The common people are dying. Dany's burning everything, as you said. But offshore, there's something going on between Jaime. He's trying to make his way to get to Cersei because everything is so crowded in King's Landing, but he encounters Euron. And it's what I like to call the Battle of Kingslayers, because let's not forget, Euron did murder his brother, who was King of the Iron Islands. So, yay! I titled something. Jaime finally uses his golden hand for something. I don't know why in every battle I feel he's ever been in, he's never used it to whack people left and right, but he's finally using it. What did y'all think of this battle between the two of them?
I didn't care for it.
Didn't care
I
for
thought I was like, he comes out at the most unpredictable moment. You just see Euron come on. I was like, come on, you should have just died in the boat. Like,
Why
Yeah.
didn't Jaime finish him off?
He-
You
yeah,
know, like
he
he
could've-
left him there.
yeah.
He, Euron's up against a rock or whatever, and he says, "I'm the man who killed Jaime Lannister."
No.
Yet
But Jaime had
walks-
stabbed him, though. Jaime had stabbed him in
No,
the
I know.
stomach.
No,
I mean,
but
I'm sure
he's saying
I'm
he
sure
should have just like
I'm
Oh, I
finished
see what you're
it.
saying.
Like,
I'm
why
sure
did
dies,
he? Yeah,
right? I'm
Okay.
sure he dies, but
Well-
why wouldn't you
just end him.
behead him or just end it
Yeah.
right there? Like, I
Well,
would.
and then-
Euron needed a line.
And then the
He-
fact,
Yeah.
too, that Euron...
Well, then you could have killed him right after that. You could have gone back and, Jaime wasn't very far away.
No, he
was
wasn't.
in earshot of him saying, "I'm the man that killed Jaime Lannister," and you go
No.
back, you're like, "No, you didn't."
You got killed by bricks, pal.
Yeah.
The bricks ended up doing the
But-
job. It wasn't even him.
But Euron stabbed Jaime twice. How is Jaime able to get up and walk away?
was pointless, too.
That was so crazy. Any other person, and Frank, agree or disagree, any other person who would have been stabbed, the way that Jaime was stabbed twice in very specific organ, functioning areas, they would have died.
Yeah.
Bled out, just
It's that plot armor right there.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. For one, I didn't want to see Euron die at the hands of Jaime. I want to see Euron die at the hands of either Yara or Theon. I just,
yeah.
the connection for me was not there between Jaime. Because they weren't around.
No.
So he didn't have an axe around with Euron. Not really.
Not really.
You know what I'm saying? So for me, it was just, it's
when-
filler. Okay, whatever.
When Euron said
filler.
to Jaime, "Oh, I slept with your sister," and I'll give her your head so you can say, kiss her goodbye one last time. I think that's what infuriated Jaime the most, because obviously.
Did it really matter? Because when he saw Cersei, he forgot about all of that.
Yeah.
I know.
He wasn't even
That was
phased by
pointless.
that.
I know.
It's just, I don't know. It was just,
Yeah.
they just rushed to an ending with those two characters.
Yep. Well, someone else who's rushing to an ending is Arya and the Hound, and I'm gonna leave the Hound's story to George and his hot takes. But Arya, basically, she's there on a mission to kill Cersei, and the Hound talks her out of it. Basically,
I want to hear Justin's point of view on this because it's hilarious.
Mission accomplished. No. Didn't even. You got to the 1 yard line. Punch the ball in the end zone. Nope, I'm gonna punt. Like,
So this is what I don't understand about the Hound and Arya. So the last episode we see the Hound and Arya leaving Winterfell together.
Yep.
That's I think season 1 they say that's a month's ride or
Yeah.
whatever. Okay, time of travel, they quantum realm, they got there in 2 weeks. Whatever. So you mean to tell me doing this whole ride down from Winterfell to King's Landing, you're cool, the Hound is cool with Arya saying, I want to kill Cersei.
Yeah.
So after 2 weeks of riding down to King's Landing and then getting to the throne room, you say, by the way, I know we rode for the last 2 weeks together. I know you want to kill Cersei and everything, but don't do it. Don't be like me. Where was that speech? Where was that speech at Winterfell?
I do
Where was that
remember.
speech at on the King's Road going to King's Landing? Why would you wait until you get to the
Do you
throne
think he
room
just
to
said
say
that? But do you think he said that because he saw everything that was happening and it was dangerous?
Yes.
Like that was the
Yes.
only reason he said that.
You don't think that it wouldn't? You don't think the Hound does
No, 'cause I don't
be
think that-
dangerous? But
No,
you're not gonna
no.
walk in and just kill.
Wait,
I know
time out,
that.
time out, time out,
I don't.
time out, time
I
out.
mean, like, he was saying because everything that they didn't expect for Daenerys to burn the whole
Yes.
city, dude.
I
But
agree.
they expected a war to happen.
Yeah,
at
a
King's
war.
Landing.
Hold on,
but
hold on,
not
but
rubble
that-
and everything falling. Like they didn't expect that.
But the
I
Hound-
still agree with Justin. Like I don't agree. Like she just gave up.
then
But
why
that's
did they
it.
even go?
Yeah.
Why,
Why
that's,
go?
that's my whole point.
Why go?
Why even have her tag along? You know, there's gonna be danger
my
at
man
King's
is like
Landing
that.
at this point. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But the Hound had told the Northern Soldier when Arya declared, "Hey, I'm here to kill Queen Cersei," and he's convincing that soldier, "Hey, let her pass, let her do this, because
Yeah.
then we can avoid this whole war altogether." I agree with George. There was no way that the Hound and Arya
They
knew
didn't predict that.
that Daenerys was going to go to the level that she's now gone to, and see this destruction of King's
So
Landing.
we didn't expect any danger at this point.
It
No,
was
they
Not to that
expected
capacity.
danger.
Those-
They didn't expect a random dragon
walk
fire.
in, hey Cersei, come here so I can behead you, and at the end.
No.
My point was there's going to be danger at this point.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, like
That's-
a war,
that's-
fighting, like a whole bunch of battles and stuff like that. But they didn't. I don't think they imagined a dragon just blowing stuff over them the whole time,
Yeah.
in front of the castle.
I had told John the episode before, I don't trust Dany. I don't trust her. Me and Sansa don't trust her. Why would you not assume that? I don't trust this woman that you're in love with.
What?
And so for me that would be like that's me saying, you know what, she's crazy. I don't trust her. She's unpredictable.
Yeah. So a lot's going on in King's Landing. Obviously, you are very passionate about it.
just-
Very
it's
passionate
just
about
poor
it. But
writing.
we got to keep going. We got to keep going. Jaime and Cersei are finally reunited. It's a little emotional. I am infuriated by it, by the way. There's all this destruction that Arya is seeing around her. She attempts to save a mother and daughter who she encountered earlier in the crowds. We're starting to see the wildfire ignite from below the city.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, this is insane. You know, we've got fire coming from the sky, coming
from the
fire from
bottom.
underneath. Like, it's crazy. And then we see the shadow of Drogon flying over King's Landing, which calls back to Bran's vision from season 4 of a lone dragon flying over.
So here's my question with the wildfire. Was that something that the Ares, the Mad King, already had
Yes.
planned throughout King's Landing?
Yeah,
Or
remember
Yes.
it was
that
all.
Cersei?
They talked about it
Yes.
back then. It
Burn.
was all planted
Burn.
under. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So he had it in different areas. It just happened to blow up.
Why did Cersei not have that ready to use? Like, why wasn't she prepared to use that?
That's true.
that
I
would
know.
have risked like her
Burning her own people,
burning
I
her
guess.
own people.
But she didn't care that there
No,
were
that's
people.
Her brother didn't care about him either, as
She,
he said.
That's
Like,
true.
she literally brought the people back in within the gate, so because she didn't assume that Dany
Yeah.
would burn all these people. So you basically use all these people as a pawn.
Yeah.
So she didn't care about those
even,
people.
even as she was dying, she didn't even care about him. He's having to say, "Look at me." He grabs her. He's like, "Look at me in the face." She's like, "I don't want to die. I don't. I don't." No, at no point did she care about another person.
Well,
at
she
all.
did say she wanted her child to live.
Was she even
She wanted her
pregnant?
child
Was
to
she
I don't
even
know.
pregnant?
That's the other thing
Never
too.
know.
She might have been pregnant.
If we're
Wasn't.
talking about,
okay.
let's say, 6 months between the end of season 7 to
No
where
belly.
we are now,
Right.
there's no belly.
You're right.
There's no freaking belly. Like that's that's a whole other
Jamie
issue.
says, as the red keeps falling or whatever they are,
Mm-hmm.
and then he says, "Nothing else matters, only us." And
That
then
was
we
a
see-
terrible death, dude.
We see
Oh my
the
God.
castle crumble on top of him.
Mm-hmm.
What I
was
want to
so
know,
bad.
did they burn the Iron Throne? Because Dany wants the Iron Throne more than anything. Did she destroy it? Like, where is the Iron Throne?
I have no
It
idea.
had to
I'm
survive.
not
though.
sure.
I'm sure it survived, but
It
I
had
mean,
to
like,
survive,
where is
but
it
yeah.
located? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
But-
also, I have one other question about this. So the Drogon's flying around burning stuff.
Yeah.
Like, does she have to say Dracarys every time he shows up? 'Cause I'm sure at some point he's probably like,
I
she's
get
like,
it.
He's like, yeah, I know. Like, I've been doing this like all day.
This is like Captain America when he encounters himself. He's like, I can do this all day. I know.
He's like, I fly and burn stuff. That's my gig. Okay, I got two things in the world I do. Oh my God.
So to boom off Justin's question here, like, how does she control the dragon?
Mind.
Like, seriously?
Well, so I think, and Frankie might be able to talk a little bit more about it. When there's a dragon rider and a dragon, they're kind of
They're like connected.
They're
One
connected.
entity.
They're one
One
entity.
entity.
So,
So can she only ride Drogon? Could she have
Yes.
rode like all three?
no, Drogon.
Really?
She's connected only with Drogon, just like Jon only connected with Rhaegal. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. All right.
But call back to season 5 when Jaime and Bronn were in Dorne, and Bronn asked, how do you want to go? And Jaime said, I want to go in the arms of the woman I love. And that was
Good for him.
fulfilled. That was fulfilled.
Womp.
Yep.
We all don't get what we want, but apparently in this season we do. Apparently, if you're James,
They do.
Yeah, they do.
So coming to the end of this episode, again, lots of destruction. We're starting to see a lot of ash everywhere, foreshadow. And Arya is really beat up. She's tried saving this mother and daughter who unfortunately were not saved. We see their
did a
burned
great job.
bodies.
Yep.
And
That's her
then-
mission.
Great job.
And then we see this white horse appear. I don't know if that's any significance to anything other than maybe the little girl that she was trying to save. She held on to a white horse, a little toy. I've read
Good eye by you. Ed.
Yeah, I didn't see that either.
I've read little weird things on Twitter about, it's not a horse, it's Bran. Or did Nymeria turn into a horse? I thought it was ridiculous too. I put no stock into it. What? Yeah, I actually read that somewhere.
Whoever wrote that.
People on Twitter.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was funny. But so that's pretty much concludes this episode of what's known as the bells. Frank.
And you can't
Yes.
unring those bells either. Like
No.
they can't go back and fix this pile of garbage. So.
Frank,
Yes, ma'am.
let's talk about the common people.
Yes. Yes.
What's the difference between we know the common people in the books, in the show, or just
Yeah.
common people in general?
So my segment, let's be frank. So this goes back to a conversation I had with my group meet buddies on our group chat, and a friend of ours was posing the question like, who suffered the most in Game of Thrones? So one of my homies was like, Sansa suffered the most. One of my homies was like, oh no, Theon suffered the most. I'm like, no, it's not even close. It's the common people.
Yeah.
They've suffered the most throughout this whole series. Books 3 and 4, Storm and Swords and Clash of Kings, they really dig deep into all these wars, because wars cost money.
Yeah.
Wars, you gotta feed these soldiers, all this calamity that's going on all throughout the lands. The people suffer. The people going hungry, people getting assaulted, raped, being killed mercilessly by the hands of just poachers and soldiers and all that. And like we see that in this story. Like Battle of the Bastards and Battle of Blackwater, these are all magnificent battles. But this episode here, you really see the people who are caught in the balance, who are caught in the middle of it. And I think one of the minute few things that they did good in this episode was they followed a mother and daughter in the streets of King's Landing. And you see how two innocent souls who are just living a simple life in King's Landing. They're probably homeless, they probably don't have a home, but they have each other, mother and daughter. And you see the storyline of them just trying to survive, all because of a rage of another person. And that's what feudalism is. Feudalism is all about, I'm indebted to a lord, I'm indebted to a king. So when the banners come calling, I gotta go fight for my king or fight for my queen. But we don't see that the losses that are made, even through victory of one side, we don't see the losses that are made in between the innocent and the common people. And you see that in the story of how people are just sitting there and they're just trying to fight to survive and try to get away, and how one tyrant erases all that innocence with one fell blow of dragonfire. And it's just it was tough to watch from that standpoint, because you really see how these innocent people just are suffering all because somebody else's fight.
Yeah.
Talk about breaking the wheel.
She's more of the same.
Yeah.
She's more of the same.
But at least it's her wheel.
Yeah.
She can do what she wants with that. All right, George, what do we have for our hot takes this week?
We got some hot takes today. We got some.
All right.
This
Straight
one
fire.
wasn't on there, but I'm gonna add it because it was just hilarious to me. It's literally a hot take. So Arya goes and leads the family that you were just talking about, the innocent family that did great. They should have just stayed in there. But no, Arya's like, no, come with me, you're gonna die. Like, we'll survive. When she takes her out, what happens? Boom! They all catch on fire. Barbecue.
chicken.
Barbecue.
So, yeah, literally a hot take. So, good job, Arya. Okay, the one thing that mattered to me in this episode, the best thing to ever happen, it finally happened, guys. Clegane Bowl.
Yes.
The only complaint that I have about this is that they kept cutting into Arya's scene and Arya doing it. I don't care about Arya. I'm trying to watch the Clegane Bowl. Don't do this to me. I don't want these type of little commercials. I don't want that. No.
But even to show the parallels between
I don't care.
between Sandor.
No, I know what they were doing.
Okay.
It's Clegane Bowl.
I understand.
We just want action. What did y'all think? I thought it was very one-sided for the first part. I would have liked to see more action.
Yeah. I think I would like to see more action in Clegane Bowl. I think what the writers were trying to convey, they were trying to show the perspective of Ground Zero through Arya's eyes of what's going on in the streets, what's going on with everybody being burnt to a crisp. I think that was they were showing a violent nature with Clegane Bowl and showing a violent nature with the people who are suffering from the hands of tyrants above them.
But what did you think about the actual fight?
Okay, Franken Mountain is terrifying to look at.
Dude is a monster.
He
man.
looks so disturbing.
Oh my god.
It was
Keep the mask
Very
on,
overpowered.
Yeah.
Overpowered.
No, I thought it was a good fight. It
was good.
I've never seen the Hound manhandled. No, the Hound had lost. He
that's
lost
true.
a free hand, but he was not manhandled.
No, you're right.
Seeing him manhandle
he
and
was
throw him around like a
manhandled.
rag doll was
Oh my god.
was shocking to see.
Dude, how many times did he get stabbed? He got one clean, the full
All the way
sword,
through,
all the
yeah.
way through. He just pulls it out like
Oh,
nothing.
you mean the mountain?
The mountain,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
He had a dagger in his eye.
Yeah,
Oh,
took it out.
gosh.
He
that
took
was
that
so
out.
brutal
Oh, it was
when-
gross. And then the mountain doing his signature move of putting his thumbs over your eyes and just pressing into them until you start bleeding.
that was insane.
And so I watched this. I watched the episodes with John, my husband, and he literally exclaimed, "Oh no, he's blind!" It was so funny
That's
to
the
hear.
least of his worries right now.
Right. But we were so excited to watch this because we were like, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
We're getting comfortable on the couch, and it was good for what when it wasn't cutting away to Arya. It was really good to watch. You're absolutely correct, Frank, in saying that the Hound was just being manhandled. The fact that he stabbed the mountain.
She called it, by the way. And remember in the
did.
preview episode of this series, she said Clegane Bowl would happen and Hound would die in the process. You called that.
I did call that.
I said they would both die.
Oh,
got
you
it too.
did
Right,
too?
but
Okay.
but what I had said is I wanted the Hound to kill the mountain first, but the mountain was still going to do something to kill the Hound.
Yeah.
So in theory, that's kind of true because the Hound did get the stab first, but apparently Franken Mountain is like a White Walker. He can just live forever.
And for the record, I predict they just hug it out.
They did. They hugged at the end into the fire.
Yeah.
So
No, but I think it was really appropriate how their whole character arc began with fire because
And
because Gregor pushed Sandor into the fire, and that's how they went out. Sandor pushed Gregor into the fire.
He speared him as a wrestling move.
Yeah, he put a Roman
And see-
Reigns.
Speaking of wrestling, I thought Arya was going to come flying off the top rope and save him. So I was like, here she comes.
Did you see that meme when Euron is looking up into the sky when he's on the ship and he's looking to see what's coming
Yeah, and
and
it's
you think
Arya.
and you see it's Arya coming
Yeah,
down
yeah,
this way?
yeah.
So funny, so funny.
but go ahead.
Go ahead. No, Clegane Bowl was just incredible.
Yeah, I think the ending was perfect
Yes.
for both of them to die that way. I think the Hound definitely got so it ended in a tie, honestly, to me. I think it was
I think
a
so.
tie.
I think so.
If the Hound landed on top of him, he'd probably get the pinfall. Be like, 1, 2.
Oh, we got the shirt.
It's okay.
It's okay.
We have more shirts. You won't get that shirt. That's one of mine.
A newer one, right?
What's your next hot
Yeah.
take, George?
So next hot take was something that happened right before that, where he had the second funniest death in Game of Thrones history is Qyburn. Wow, I laughed.
What's the first?
Who's the first?
You remember the guy that got hit by the bell?
Bells.
You're talking about when the
This
Septa
was-
Baylor
yes,
was
when the
Yeah.
Septa Baylor blew up. Go watch it. the scepter blew
Oh
up.
my God.
The
remember
the
that.
bell just hits, and it comes. There's a guy running and just gets crushed by it. It was.
It's funny, but it's not funny. But
It's
funny.
absolutely
Yeah.
hilarious.
No, I don't know. There might be a time for a second because another extra died similarly. How in season 5 when after the Walk of Shame, or season 6 actually after the Walk of Shame.
Oh, the mountain.
There's a guy talking trash about Cersei,
About Cersei.
in Flea Bottom, and he's taking and he's peeing, and the mountain just comes and
Yeah.
just
Smashes him into.
That one
That was
funny.
good.
fun.
That was
No,
good.
Kai Burns was hilarious. He's like, no. He's like, you have to.
We're going to have to sit down and rank these deaths. There's,
Oh, yeah,
There's
absolutely.
too many funny deaths.
Absolutely.
We can't definitively say that was the second funny.
No,
Yeah.
this was the funniest thing. I laughed.
This is
Okay.
I
George's
laughed
take.
for
He can do
a
whatever
while.
he wants.
He just pulled it. He's like, you have to listen to your queen. He just,
Oh, it's fine. I laughed too.
but the way he just grabbed his head, and then you see the brick, and it just
Yeah.
explodes.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
That was-
What's funny is like Cersei looks at him like, oh, he's gone. And then she's like, exit stage wherever, left, right.
And
Like,
then she just goes
yeah.
down.
You know what I said about that when she walked off and she walks past the hound? I'm like, dude, you could have just handled
Yeah.
this right here.
Just
You could have
thrown her
killed
off or
her,
something.
and then you could have gone and killed your brother. Like that would.
He was focused.
Right.
He was
Payback
dead.
on the
He
mom.
knew-
You're right, you're
He
right.
knew where he went there for. Like that's
Shout
what he was
outs
on.
to the hound for
But that would've been
fulfilling
funny.
his mission of getting revenge. Like that was great.
Yeah.
All right, George.
He actually
That's-
did what he said he was going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like,
And,
Arya.
yeah, that's all the hot takes for today. But yeah, that was hilarious, guys. That
Yeah,
was
it was.
my funniest stuff.
All right, so I got some fun facts for you guys. I'm not sure if you picked up on some of this stuff, but since we were talking about the Clegane Bowl, House Clegane is now extinct.
Yeah.
It's over.
Well, it was a two-man house.
It's
So
in
it's
the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's over. I
like a
wanted,
duplex, maybe. Like a townhome. Not really a house. Yeah, go ahead.
I wanted to really quickly talk about Varys and Littlefinger parallel. In ways of similar deaths, not to the exact T, because we know that Littlefinger was cut, by the throat by Arya, and Varys was burned alive. But they both were serving women of power, and they both betrayed those women in power. So I just thought that was because they were always at odds with one another when they served as in the small council with Robert Baratheon, Joffrey, Cersei, whatever. And Littlefinger obviously wanted the Iron Throne. The other side of that, Varys never did. He wanted the best person to be on the Iron Throne. But they ultimately died because they betrayed the people that they were serving. So I just wanted to bring that up. Yesterday was Mother's Day, as we know. And Cersei died on Mother's Day, which is very similar to that of her father Tywin when he died, was on Father's Day in 2014.
Did not
Fun
know
fact.
that. Did not know
Fun
that.
fact, guys. Also, we talked earlier about Arya's kill list. Everyone on her kill list is actually now dead.
There's one more name on
there's
there.
no more?
One more.
Oh, well, there's one more. Yes.
Dany. I feel like that's gonna be added on there because
Yes.
they wasted too much time on. I don't want to say wasted, but they showed a lot of her seeing things like you were talking about, and like her witnessing firsthand what she's doing.
Yeah.
And like my whole deal is like they wouldn't waste that much time on it if she's not gonna try and kill her, or even die in the process of trying to do that, or somehow she has to be the one to try and do something.
Right.
Because why did they waste all that time
Right.
when we could have just watched the Clegane Bowl the whole time?
Yeah.
If that happens, she's the Michael Jordan of this show. To kill the Night King and Dany in the same season, that's a lot of power.
But Michael Jordan wouldn't have backed down.
No.
Like what she did.
No.
Like in the, yeah.
But I feel like poetically it has to be John. Like you pledged your life, you pledged your loyalty to this woman, and now you really seen what that loyalty has come to. It's fire and brimstone.
So on that note, because the show doesn't really talk too much about this particular prophecy, but it is in the book, the Azor Ahai prophecy. Actually, I take that back. It was mentioned briefly by Melisandre when she first met Dany about the prince or princess that was promised. Do you think that what we know now about how John feels about Dany and what she's doing, do you think he's going to fulfill that prophecy and be the Azor Ahai by murdering or killing the one that he loves?
Yeah, it'll be a totally different storyline and avenue because the Azor Ahai prophecy was more to end the long night. This would be to end the Mad Queen's terror or tyrant reign. At this point, I don't really care anymore. I just need John to kill her. I just feel like poetically, it makes sense for him to be the, because his family preached for years. You pass the sentence, you should swing the sword.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And John, I think John needs to live by that in order for all this to be salvaged in some form of
Is that the ending you want?
That's anything I would like to see.
I think he dies in the process. John
You think he
does,
does?
killing
Yeah.
her.
I
And
can
then
see
Arya
that.
swoops in for the kill.
I
Anybody?
don't know. I think
I don't
bells
know.
ring and we go.
I think.
I don't know. It's over.
No, I think I agree with Frank. I would love to see that too, but the way this show has been going so far, we're not gonna get what we want. This
Yeah.
is
No.
this is ridiculous. Like
Yeah, the pacing of
we
everything
wanted the
is
Night
crazy.
King versus Jon.
Yes.
Didn't happen. Why would it happen here?
Yeah.
Right.
Like I just feel like I'm gonna be let down again.
Probably.
So
Well, a couple things before we get our final thoughts about next week's series finale is just a call back to Dany and Karth when she was outside with Jorah and the Dothraki, I believe. And who were they? The leaders of Karth. They basically wouldn't allow her to come
Yeah.
in. And she threatened them. We will lay waste to armies and burn cities to the ground, which eventually came true with King's Landing. And then also call back to Frank, is it season 2 with the prophecy in the House of the Undying?
Yeah. Her dragons had just gotten taken by the wizard dude.
Right.
Yeah.
And we see Dany's vision of walking into the Iron Throne. It's completely in ruins. And
ashes, not snow.
initially, I thought it was snow, and I thought it foreshadowed Jon
Jon.
actually having some kind of role into it, which he actually does. But I agree now, it's definitely more ashes. And one thing I will point out is that she attempts to reach for the armrest of the Iron Throne, and then hears a noise, and then pulls back. So is that foreshadowing that she's going to get literally this close to the Iron Throne, but still not be able to sit on it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think she'll not because of like she decided not to. I think she's gonna die.
Yeah.
You think she's going to
I
die?
think so. I think so.
She got that close.
Okay. Will Jon rightfully take the seat on the Iron Throne, or is he going to die?
I think he'll die too.
No, I don't think he takes the seats, but I
That'd be
do
a happy
think
ending.
I do think he takes rule and he breaks all 7 kingdoms and they're being ran individually. I think what Dany was preaching about all about breaking the wheel. I think Jon really breaks the wheel in these.
So you think he survives?
I think he survives. I think.
I hope you're right.
Yeah, I think the
Yeah,
kingdoms.
I'm
hope
with
you're right,
that.
pal.
I'm with
Yeah.
that. Okay, other question. Arya. She was convinced by the Hound not to, pursue Cersei. She turns around, looks like she's going to leave King's Landing. Is she going to go back to Winterfell? Is she going to go back to Gendry? Or is she going to just go on and do her own thing?
She's gonna do her own thing.
Yeah,
Do her own thing.
she's not a lady.
She's not.
She's not.
She's not a settling down type. She's gonna go out and just explore the world and see what happens.
I think so too.
Just ride her white horse.
Yeah.
Justin, did you have anything you wanted to ask?
So, Frank, I don't know if you caught this, but your favorite football player was in last night's episode.
Aaron Rodgers,
Aaron
baby.
Rodgers,
House
yeah.
Rodgers.
Did not catch that.
No.
He was one of the archers.
Yeah, he died.
I did not catch
Did they
that.
show him on screen at all?
Yeah, he was like so. It was like a side profile of all the archers. He was a middle archer. I watched it the second time. I was like, that guy looks familiar, but I couldn't tell who he was because of the side profile. And then the article came down like an hour later saying that was
That's
Aaron
funny.
Rodgers. And I was like, oh snap.
That's pretty cool.
Did he get hurt doing that, or he gets hurt a lot? So I love Aaron Rodgers.
The
but he does
shade.
get hurt a lot.
The shade.
He gets injured.
I didn't catch that. I did hear rumors
Yeah.
last week that Aaron was going to be in it. I'm like, why?
Yeah, he was a middle archer.
I have
Yeah.
one question for y'all. Are we going to see Sansa and Bran in the finale? Are they
Yes.
going to be
Yes.
a part of it?
Yes.
Yes.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
I would hope so.
I feel like
They
there's
have to
gonna
end
be
it
an-
up somehow.
I feel like there's going to be like an epilogue of sorts where
Oh.
if what Frank, and I agree with you, I hope that Jon survives. I hope he will divide the kingdoms to the rightful lords because Tyrion is the solo member of House Lannister now. Gendry is now legitimized for the Stormlands. The North still has some Starks, even though Bran doesn't or can't be lord, etc. So I'm hoping you're going to actually see it, the division of the kingdoms, but then the epilogue of, let's say, years later
Yeah.
of how things have
That's
progressed.
probably smart.
It's kind of like a Harry Potter sort of ending. Spoiler, guys, in case you haven't seen Harry Potter, but anyway, that's
So,
just kind of
George,
what I hope.
What do you think for the ending? How's it going to end?
I have no idea. I just hope. I
We
don't wanna
talked
do it
earlier.
though, but yeah.
You said something about initially some time back that there was a theory that Bran would wake up from his dreamlike state or coma state, and he's dreamt of everything that's gone on.
And I told you back then that
That was a
that would be
stupid idea.
a stupid idea. But
Yeah.
now, like the way the show's going, I think it's a great idea. So
We gotta wrap up, guys.
yeah.
So my prediction for next week is next week's episode will be next week. And we'll be here to review it, the final episode of Game of Thrones. We appreciate y'all watching today. Follow us on social media. If you want to win a shirt, you won't get that one. You'll get one of the good ones.
And your
on the
proper
floor.
size.
Yeah, let us know your size, and we'll get that going. So anyway, thank you for watching, and see you next week.
Maybe. Until I say Dracarys.